it's absolutely fantastic. A lot of people, a lot of celebrities, and everything is just running smooth. Can you give us a little bit feedback on the program of the day? What's going on here at the back?
Yeah, today's program has been quite exciting. I did the first cook-off, so I was part of it, and it was so interesting. Sorrel was busy boycotting tastes, and they were throwing colorants into each other's food, and the one was stealing the other one's sugar. So it's really just all fun. It's not really anything serious. It's nice, however, to actually cook with somebody that knows what they're doing, because, I mean, we were busy doing the egg whites, and Sorrel said, "No, you're doing this wrong," and he quickly took it together. So
You were part of one of the teams. You were involved in one of the teams.
yes, that's why I've got an apron.
Where were you? First, second, third?
Oh no, I was in the losing team, although I thought we were best, but we lost, yes.
Okay.
So the rest of the program will continue every hour. On the hour we have 3 teams cooking, so it's rather hectic, but it's exciting as well. Every celebrity has a team, and the team are all members of the public who are either feel philanthropic about the cerebral palsy cause, or they're just people who love cooking, because that seems to be the latest craze, is everybody wants to cook.
Mariki, tell me, how did it come about that the mall is actually part of this event or hosting this event?
Tace came to us and he said he wanted to do a fundraiser, and us having our marketing hats on, immediately identified this opportunity as not just something that we can offer the public as entertainment. We call it shop-attainment. So we knew we could offer some shop-attainment, getting all the celebrities here together, and in the same instance, we could also plow back something into charity, into our local community. We're always looking for events that benefit our local community. We often get requests from people who want to raise funds for a very worthy cause. However, we look for events that have certain characteristics, and this one actually fulfilled our tick list. So it had something to plow back into the community. It's a local event. It benefits local people long-term as well as short-term, because it's not only a fund that will benefit cerebral palsy children, sufferers. There's also a other fund, the Brenda's fund. She's an adult cerebral palsy sufferer, and she has an adult study fund that's also managed by the GRCF. So the two dovetail nicely, and we thought this is a nice event to put some backing behind.
Well, fantastic. It's running smoothly. A lot of people. I see you running around a lot. Very busy. So enjoy the rest of the day. Strongs, well done.
Je mag die mensen beïnvloeden.
MasterChef experience itself, it was an amazing journey for me personally. You know, I've been in love with food for a long time. I've been cooking since the age of 7 or 8 years old, and I still can remember my first meal that I made. So my passion for food was one that came back, you know, was with me for many years. So MasterChef gave me the opportunity to acknowledge that passion for food, and that was the podium that I used to showcase my love for food. Yeah, so the experience itself was phenomenal. It was an education for me in so many ways, but it was very stressful, because, you know, I went into the competition to do my best, and to do your best, you need to try your best at every minute of the actual competition. So I was under constant stress there, and but it was enjoyable. It was a good time for me. In fact, the best experience of my life, without doubt.
Now, tell me, Dina, there's a lot of things going on in the background which you don't see, cameras and rules and regulations, and you went overseas, you know, family time. Can you give us a little bit background on that too?
Absolutely. You know, as I said, it was effort again. We were away from our families while we shot MasterChef for a period of around about 2.5 months. So, you know, being away from your family and your loved ones and having no one to talk to, and relate your experiences, and someone that you can ask for help in the sense of my wife is always there for me in my normal day-to-day. But when you're isolated, there's an added amount of pressure that's introduced to the competition itself. So it's not only the competition and you competing against the fellow contestants, it's the emotional competition or the emotional hurdles that you have to endure. So it was very difficult in that aspect. Never before in my life was I so alone in so many ways. So it was difficult in that aspect. But in terms of the dynamics of the competition, I must say we had an amazing production team. I think, the best people that I could have asked to work for. And they, to a great extent, made the entire process and the entire journey much more easier for me. So, yeah, brilliant team of guys that I worked with.
Tell me, were you allowed to actually speak with your wife and family, or how did it happen?
Perfect. Yeah, that's a very good question. I get asked that all the time. If I had a penny for every time that question is asked of me, I'd be a millionaire right now. So, yeah, we were actually isolated from society as such. We were allowed very, very limited visits to shopping centers. And while in shopping centers such as this in Paul, while we are doing our shopping, we were given 15 minutes to do shopping, and we were not left alone. We were always accompanied by the chaperones. So that was difficult on its own. And in terms of communicating to your loved ones, with your wife and stuff, we were given 5 minutes every 9 days. And while we speak on the phone, there's someone listening to your conversation. I can respect why they did that, because the entire series was shot way before you guys actually watched it. We wrapped the series up in the first week of March, and the series was only aired around the end of March. And so the confidentiality around the program was paramount, and we couldn't allow anything to slip out, or rather Mnet themselves couldn't allow anything to slip. So I respected the confidentiality, and something that we could, we had to endure. Absolutely, it was good.
I saw the final, and that final moment you were there's a lot of emotions went through. Can you?
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know whether it's fortunately or unfortunately, I'm a very emotional person, and my emotions are so well seen on TV, and they're so transparent, and that's why people most probably, I got so much of support in that people saw me for what I am. If I felt like crying, I cried. Coming back to the finals itself, I think the finals, it was the first time ever that I wasn't really stressed out, because here I am in the final 2 of MasterChef South Africa, having gone through 9,000 entries, and for Suan and I to be in the final 2, I was already a winner, and I made peace with the fact that, listen, coming so far, being in the final, I've already achieved what I wanted to do. And so that element of stress was actually taken off me, and I cooked from my heart. I cooked the way I would cook at home, and that is why I was at my best in the finals. And when I was announced a winner, it was, wow, my energy just left me, and I literally fell onto the ground. And I had to thank so many people. The divine God himself had to be thanked, because I always asked for help. I requested and I appealed for strength all the way through the competition, and I prayed. And now in my best moment, I have to acknowledge my prayers were answered. And that is why I went down on my knees and prayed.
Get back to the competition today. I think it's a very nice idea. It's a very nice purpose. A lot of people involved. How do you feel about this?
Oh, it's not always about winning, and it's not always about making things happen for yourself and feeding your own ego and stuff. Sometimes you really need to give back to the community, give back to people that supported you. And this amazing team of people, Tace and Sarl and Bedina, we actually formed a very close relationship on MasterChef. And funny enough, in Zanzibar, we had this discussion. I had this discussion with Tace, and I told him, Tace, if you want to start up anything, you just call me, and I will be there to support you, irrespective of how busy I am. And I promised him way back in Zanzibar. And when I said goodbye to Tace on camera, and you hear me say, Tace, I promise you. People didn't know what it was. This was what the promise I made to him, that I will support him. He's an amazing guy. Tace is what an amazing guy. Eh? And I've actually forged a lifelong relationship and a good I've actually, in MasterChef, I've discovered and made a friend for life in Tace. So, yeah, I'm so glad to be here and so glad to have fun and support him. I've seasoned it with a combination of 5 spice, pepper and salt. And we seared it in a flavored butter. I got most of the fat out and we literally cut it off. Whatever was left in the pan, I deglazed the pan and I did egg noodles in it. So basically the egg noodles, and on top of it we've got the 5 spice duck breast, and on top of that I've got a plum and a red wine sauce. Okay, so that's the mains. Hope that went well. The duck actually needs to be rare. It has to be rare, so it's pink in the center. I'm happy about that. Then on this side, what's supposed to be a puff pastry parcel, I had a problem with the oven, and the oven took a long time to actually kick in. But I managed to do the pastry. So we've got the pastry, a puff pastry parcel, which is enveloped in where I have fresh berries in there, and that's actually enveloped by the puff pastry. We got fresh cream and an assortment of berries, chocolate glazing, and dust with icing sugar.
Maar ja, ons sit hier so saam met Sarel van Sabi, Sarel Loods, wat vierde geëindig het, ek reg in die Masterchef kompetisie. Maar Sarel, vertel 'n bietjie vir ons, ek was nou net daar saam met julle op die verhoog gewees, nee, maar dit is redelik chaos daar so, en mense hardloop en jy kom nie daar deur nie. Wat gebeur presies daarbo?
Hierdie verhoog hier agter ons. Ja nee, dit was Thys het gesê hy wil van hê. Ons gaan bietjie dit geniet. So ek het 'n paar geheime wapens saamgebring. Ek het hier in my sak het ek allerlei kleersels. En ek het nou een van die ouste meringues het ek van wit meringue na groen meringue verander. So dit is lekker van net lekker bietjie met kos te speel, en kos is 'n manier om mense bymekaar te kry en net om dis 'n kuiergeleentheid, ja.
Hierdie gaan nie regtig oor wen nie, so ek kan sien daar is lekker van graai julle mekaar so bietjie so tussenin.
Ons probeer, ja. Ja, ek en Thys het mekaar so nou en dan 'n bietjie vasgevat toe hy gekook het. Ek sien hy het op 'n stadium probeer om my van my bestanddele te steel, maar toe backfire dit heeltemal. Maar dit gaan lekker, die ouens geniet dit. Ek dink dit is juist die fun factor wat ons hierso probeer inbring.
Let's go back to MasterChef South Africa. There's a time frame on every event or every cooking event that you did. What effect does it have on you? Is it tension? Are you worried? Is that one of the big things that's happening within the whole process?
Because you had a limited time and you didn't know what you're going to cook. That created a lot of stress and a lot of mistakes in the end. Because you had limited time and it was real. It wasn't you didn't have extra time or could cook more. The time was real. It was just exactly the time you had. And in the end, most of the time we couldn't finish our dishes. We didn't have time to do all we had to do. But it created a lot of stress.
Did you ever get to a stage where time is up and you're standing there and you know there's a couple of things that was left to be done?
Almost every time. I had problems every time to finish the dish. So you had to make a decision on what you're going to leave and what you're going to continue making. So you kind of decide, well, this is important, this is not, chuck that one, continue with the other stuff. So you had to make decisions like that. And it worked well, but it also cost me the game in the end. That's why I fell out.
Dit gaan goed. Dit moet lekker die caramelize, dat lekker bruin is. Ach, dat is stunning. Daai bruin geef hom net 'n ekstra kleur in.
Children and SpongeBob now, it's a tennis, it's a biscuit. Hello biscuit. Hello biscuit.